And good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Maulers Talk. My name is Ralph Williams, and I am the only talk show in Pittsburgh that is strictly about the Maulers and the USFL. On Sunday, coming up this Sunday, don't forget 9 p.m. Sports Corner, 9:30, The Way I See It. This Friday, don't forget about the Way I See It podcast right here on YouTube and Facebook because we're on both platforms now every time we do a show. Also, don't forget about your comments in the chat section. If you have anything you want to talk about as far as anything with the USFL and Pittsburgh Maulers, I've been getting a lot of questions lately, and I'm going to give you a lot of answers today to some of those questions. I haven't been around for a couple of weeks because I was waiting for this week to start Mauler Talks, so that way we can familiar you with it because this weekend is the opening weekend for the USFL. And what they're doing is all games are being played at Legion Field and Protective Stadium. Now, Protective Stadium and Legion Field are nearby each other. They're going to play at both places, and therefore all games will be played there. And I have the week one schedule. Next week I'll give you the week two schedule, and every week we'll be here until the season's over for a Mauler Talk. And if anything goes on, we'll have another show for Pittsburgh Mauler Talk right here on YouTube, Facebook. Ralph Williams is my name, and I welcome your comments in the chat section as well. Also, I want to tell you about some of my other shows tomorrow night, 8 o'clock p.m. Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631. I will be on, as usual, with my good friend Mark Mancini, and we are going to be national and live. We're going to talk a lot of some sports stuff, the NFL draft, baseball, hockey, and a whole lot more tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631, or you can get on Blog Talk Radio and punch up Mancini Media under platforms, and that's how you can also participate on your device, whether it's a tablet or computer or anything like that. All right, the Maulers, they have very nice looking uniforms, the same purple uniforms they wore back in the 80s. And I remember those uniforms, and I remember all the memorabilia and stuff from the old Maulers from back in the day. Glenn Carano was our quarterback. I remember that. Mike Rozier was our running back. Ellis Rainsberger ended up being our coach. Joe Pendry was the first coach, and then he got fired in the middle of the season, and they had Ellis Rainsberger take over. That was a big debacle. They played at Three River Stadium. This year, the Maulers are doing everything down at Legion Field in Alabama and Protective Stadium. Now, what they're doing is that every game's going to be played there. So one team will be the home team, the other team will be the away team. And then the championship games or the playoffs, and then the championship game will be played in Canton, Ohio at the NFL, at the Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. That would be an interesting thing if the Maulers make the playoffs and and get to the championship game. Maybe some Pittsburgh fans will take the track over to Canton and check that out. That wouldn't be a bad thought. Then you can go to the Hall of Fame. You can make a weekend out of it. It might not be a bad thought. Might be a nice vacation idea for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, might just be a nice vacation idea for you. All right. Okay, let's take a look at the week one schedule, and then I'm going to go over who our head coaches are for all the teams. And then we're going to talk about who the Maulers picked up in the supplemental draft and the original draft. And I'm going to go over all the coaches of all the teams as well. So we have a lot to talk about here, and we'll be here till 4:30. Don't forget to put up your comments. Don't forget later on tonight, 7 p.m., right here on both Facebook and YouTube, myself, Ralph Williams, and Wrestle Chat. We have a lot of wrestling stuff to talk about. Local guy, Corey Graves, just got married this past week to Carmella. So that's not all of the news I have. I have a whole bunch of news for you. So you might want to check out Wrestle Talk, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Will be on both platforms, Facebook and YouTube. My show is a half an hour. Now, if I have a guest, it's an hour. All right. So I have a half an hour show now, and that's how I'm doing it here on. Last night, I had a great time. My Sports Corner podcast was great. We had, I had two guys on, one from Florida named Scott Morgan Bar, and then we had, uh, Bruce Keppinger, and Bruce Keppinger has a show on Blog Talk Radio, but he lives in the West Coast. We were talking about small market baseball teams. He was telling me about San Francisco, the Oakland A's, what's going on down there. I was telling him about the Pirates. Scott, he was Morgan Roth. He was telling us about how the Marlins and Tampa Bay is doing as well. And don't forget, Sunday on both platforms we have Sports Corner at 9 o'clock, 9:35 now, 9:35, the way I see it. All right, so don't forget Sunday night. Also here on either Facebook or YouTube. Okay, week 1 games, and this is for Saturday. Okay, Saturday, the only game scheduled on Saturday is at 4 o'clock p.m., and that's going to be on the USA Network. Okay, I'm also going to tell you what network, because for some weird reason, NBC and Fox have teamed up, and all the games are spread out on different networks. I guess they want you to watch all these games, so they're spreading them out on different networks. Now, all right, that's Saturday. New Jersey Generals, who are coached by Mike Riley. Now, if you don't know who Mike Riley is, he was the head coach for the Oregon State team, the Oregon State Gophers. Oregon State Beavers. I'm sorry, the Oregon State Beavers. And then he was in the NFL for a little while. He was with the old San Diego Chargers, which are now the LA Chargers. And then he went back, and then he went to coach at Nebraska. And you know, Nebraska expects big things. They've always been good under Tom Osborne after he left. And then they fired Frank Solich, which of course was done by Steve Peterson, our old athletic director. We all know how that went about. But anyway, Mike Riley's been around in the college and pros, and he also has been involved in a couple of these other leagues, that League of American Football or whatever that they had going on a few years back. And he's also coached the XFL as well. And they're coming back next year. I will be talking about that on Sunday, and who knows? Maybe I might do an XFL show too. How's that sound? There you go. I'm even thinking about doing a cooking show once in a while. There you go. All right. So, New Jersey Generals coached, and then the Birmingham Stallions. Now, the Birmingham Stallions, they are coached by, and I'm going to tell you here right now who they are coached by, Skip Holtz. Now, those of you who don't know who Skip Holtz is, he's the son of Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz is the former coach at Notre Dame, coached in the NFL as well for the Jets. And he's been around as well. But his son, he's coached at a couple different colleges throughout the college football realm. And now he's coaching the Birmingham Stallions. That's Saturday's game, 4 o'clock, USA Network. Next, for Sunday now. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, wait till you see this. The Maulers play Sunday at noon. What a way for Easter. You could go to church, you can come home, okay? You can eat with your family and watch the Maulers. How do you like that? Well, 12 noon, it's on NBC. So even if you don't have cable, you have a converter box, you can watch it on NBC. And if you have a streaming service, Peacock, you can watch it there as well. 12 noon, Tampa Bay Bandits versus the Pittsburgh Maulers. And take a good guess who the Bandits head coach is. Can somebody post on the comment? I'll give you a couple seconds to post on the comment section here. Take a guess who the coach is of the Tampa Bay Bandits and who is their defensive coordinator. Okay? All right, a few more seconds here. I'm waiting. But anyway, getting back to some of this other while we wait a few minutes. The Tampa Bay Bandits are coached by Todd Haley. Todd Haley was the Steelers' offensive coordinator. At one time, he was a Kansas City head coach. And lately, he's been coaching at a high school. Now, I read an article about Todd Haley recently, and it turns out that he's changed his tune. He used to be this real hard kind of guy to deal with. And, so what had happened was he was a hard kind of guy to deal with, and he got in some battles with people. Ben Roethlisberger didn't like him, which he didn't care. But he sort of softened himself down just a little bit because, I'm going to give him a little hand for that. Yeah, there we go. My audience is going to give him a little hand for that because I think, that's great that he got what he got going on with that. So, he softened his tone a little bit. He's going to be the coach of the Tampa Bay Bandits. His defensive coordinator, his former Pitt and Steeler coach at one time. He was worked under Chuck Noll, and also around the league in the NFL, Tim Lewis. So Tampa Bay Bandits are not somebody to play with. Okay, and the Maulers, our head coach is Kirby Wilson. Now Kirby Wilson's been a running backs, wide receivers coach. Never been a head coach or a coordinator. He's always been a position coach. We'll see what he does this year. He says we're going to play powerful football, and we're going to do what the Maulers are supposed to do. We're going to maul everybody over. Okay, so that's the schedule there for the Maulers. Next, the Houston Gamblers. Now, the Houston Gamblers, they are coached by Kevin Sumlin. Those of you who don't know who Kevin Sumlin is, he was once the coach of the Houston Cougars, who are now being coached by that drunk Dana Hogerson. Now, I don't know. He must have recovered. He didn't look too bad when I seen him in the bowl game this past year when his team was in a bowl game. They have done very, very well for themselves, Houston Cougars, under Dana Hogerson. He was with West Virginia for a while. He was involved in a bunch of stuff down in West Virginia. He was banned from the casinos. I understand he was a drunk, so we're going to leave it at that. But then he coached at Mississippi State, Kevin Sumlin. Didn't do so well there. Then he went to Arizona and didn't do well at all. He was there for 2 seasons, maybe won 4 games. I heard he had some trouble recruiting. I don't know what it was with that. And now he's doing this. So I'm glad. I mean, he was once in the NFL. He was once a quarterback's coach and a coordinator. Kevin Sumlin is a very good offensive mind. I thought Pitt should have hired him when he was out there. He's great at what he does. But that game will be on. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I got the games mixed up. This game here, the Houston Gamblers versus the Michigan Panthers, will be on at noon. Maulers in Tampa Bay, you could finish your dinner, and they'll be on at 8 o'clock. I'm sorry about the sirens, everybody. Really? There we go. All right. Has to happen when I'm on the air. Has to happen. Can't happen any other time. Houston Gamblers and the Michigan Panthers. Now, the Michigan Panthers, they're coached by Jeff Fisher. Who remembers Jeff Fisher? I do. Why? He was the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Before that, they were the Houston Oilers. Houston Oilers. Houston Oilers #1. So anyway, he was the head coach there, and then he, when the transition went to Tennessee, he was the head coach for a while, went to a Super Bowl, and then he went to go coach down in L.A. with the Rams. Didn't do so good down there, and they ended up hiring Todd McShay instead. So now he's down there, and he's doing very well, as you can see, just won the Super Bowl. So, that's the story there. That game will be on at noon. Maulers play at 8 o'clock, and they're going to be on Fox Sports 1. So if you don't have cable, you can, it's Fox Sports 1. But all games can be streamed on Peacock. So if you don't catch the game, you can stream on Peacock. You can do that as well. But the Maulers and the Tampa Bay Bandits will be on Fox Sports 1. All right, next. The Philadelphia Stars versus the New England Breakers. Now, the Philadelphia Stars, their head coach is Bart Andrus. All right. Bart Andrus has been a defensive coach all around the NFL and college. A lot of people in Philly, and Philly's a tough city with a tough crowd with the Eagles, the Phillies, the Flyers. The Flyers, the Phillies, and the Eagles, none of them did any good this year. So But Philly's doing pretty good, the Eagles. But the Stars, uh, that's the Philly team. They're not real happy about the hiring of Bart Andrus. They thought they should have hired somebody else. I heard Marvin Lewis was up for a job. He didn't get it. But they're playing the New Orleans Breakers, coached by Larry Fedora. Now, if those of you who don't know who Larry Fedora is, he has coached as a position coach in the NFL. He was the head coach at North Carolina for a few seasons. He didn't do very well there. They stunk. Beat Pitt, though, but they stunk. And Larry Fedora is the coach for the New Orleans Breakers. Game time, 4 p.m. for that one, USA Network, and that is on Sunday. All three of these games, Tampa Bay and Maulers and Pittsburgh, and then Houston and Michigan, and then the Philadelphia and New Orleans, all those games are on Sunday. All right. And the game on Saturday is the New Jersey Generals at the Birmingham Stallions, 4 p.m. start time, also on USA Network. All right. Okay, comment section's open here on Mauler Talk. It's great to be here with you once again. And I'm going to give you the USFL power rankings. I'm going to tell you exactly where the Maulers are. The power rankings have Tampa Bay at number 1 and Michigan at number 2. And I explained why. These two teams have good coaches. I mean, the head coach is Todd Haley. And Todd Haley's a good coach. I mean, don't get him wrong. I mean, his attitude, he claims he changed his attitude. And his attitude, if he changed it, then that makes it good for him. And that way he'll be a better person and a better coach. And he said he learned some lessons from being a hard ass. Okay, he learned his lesson. So, there you go. There in the Michigan Panthers, they have Jeff Fisher. I tell you what, they're number 2, and they just might be good. They might even be number 1 because Jeff Fisher's a good coach. All right. The only thing I didn't like about Jeff Fisher was he took Paxton Lynch over Duck Hodges when they had the draft. Duck Hodges didn't even get drafted. He's playing in Canadian football. Eli Rogers got drafted. He never showed up. So I don't know what he's doing. He might be looking at getting back in the NFL. Steelers need him. Maybe he could come back to the Steelers. New Orleans Breakers with Larry Fedora. We'll see what they do. The power rankings have them at number 3. Number 4, the Philadelphia Stars with Bart Andrus. We'll see how they work out. The Maulers are at number 5. We'll see what Kirby Wilson and the gang have up their sleeve. Birmingham Stallions are at number 6. Number 7, the Houston Gamblers. And last but not least, the New Jersey Generals. I'm surprised they have the Generals at number 8. I expected better from them because of Mike Riley being their coach, but who knows? Houston Gamblers, the jury's out on Kevin Sumlin. He stunk in Arizona. Didn't do well as a head coach at Mississippi State. Did good at Houston. Maybe he should still be an offensive coordinator or something. I've said this many times, and I'll say it again. Some people can bake a cake and some people can't. You coach in college, you got to be able to recruit. If you can't recruit, forget it. Okay? Now, if you can't recruit, then you need to go find some assistants who can. All right? That's how you coach in college. In the NFL, some people look at Matt Rule. He's not doing real good down in Carolina. He stinks. All right? So, you got to be careful moving from college to the NFL. A position coach, maybe, yeah. But, you got to just to jump from college to the pros, that's a whole different ball game. Okay, it's a whole different thing. And now Lovie Smith's back in the NFL. He's coaching he's coaching in Houston, the Texans. Okay, Lovie Smith was at Illinois and he got fired. He didn't do well there. He was there for about 4 years. I think they might have went to one bowl game and that was it. After that, he's gone. Okay, he's the only person in the history of coaching that ever got fired by 2 teams in the same state. He got fired by the Bears when he was the Bears head coach. Then he was coaching down in Tampa Bay. He didn't do all that great down there either. So Lovie Smith's been around, but here we are. All right. That is the games, the power rankings. All right. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the Maulers supplemental picks. Now, they had a supplemental draft. And what had happened was they had these extra players. So the Maulers took in the first round Ethan Westbrook, defensive tackle from West Texas State. Round 2, they took Keith Gibson from Baylor, cornerback. All right. Dale Warren, outside linebacker, University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Okay, next in round 4, they took Winston Dimmel, a fullback, Kansas State. Round 5, Malcolm Elmore, safety corner, Central Methodist. Wow, haven't heard that one in a while. Let's see, round 6, Abdul Beecham, offensive guard and center. That's a nice pick, Kansas State again. Round 7, Ramez Oned, Nevada, kicker. How do you like that one? All right, round 8, Hunter Tedford. That is Jeff Tedford's son. Jeff Tedford's coaching in Fresno State. He's been around a long time as a coach as well. He was at Utah. He's a tight end, round 8. Round 9, Max Duffy, punter, Kentucky. You know, they were talking about this guy on the NFL, this Max Duffy, but he decided not to go to the draft. He's going to be with the Maulers. Darius Moraga, defensive tackle, defensive end, and offensive tackle. Played for Kansas. Kansas was once coached by, a few guys. Oh, Kansas is coached by Les Miles. He's there now. Former coach down at Les Miles, former coach down at LSU. Charlie Weiss, former New England offensive coordinator and coach of Notre Dame. He was there for a little bit. I don't know. He didn't do too much. Les Miles is there, and he's not doing very well either. So, that's how that's going right now. So, also, let me see here. All right, let's talk about some of the teams drafted in the supplemental draft. The New Orleans Breakers took Justin Johnson, tight end, Mississippi State. Tampa Bay Bandits took Jaron Jones, offensive tackle from Notre Dame, round 1. Jaron Jones, and this is why Todd Haley's doing this, he was once a Pittsburgh Steeler. Okay, he played our offensive line. We got him from Denver, and it turns out now he's in the USFL now, playing for the Tampa Bay Bandits. He was their first pick in the first round. All right, let's see here. All right, I already said the Maulers stuff, so, but I got a few of the teams here. Okay, here we go. All right, let me look at this again. Yeah, I got to make sure we got this right. Okay, Birmingham Stallions, round 1, picked Ryan Williams-Pope, an offensive tackle from San Diego State. Okay, great. Now we can move on to the other teams. Michigan Panthers, Jeff Fisher's team, round 1, they took Warren Saba, defensive tackle, East Carolina. Houston Gamblers, first round in the supplemental draft, took Josh Avery, defensive tackle, Southwest Missouri State. Philly Stars took round 1, Gunnar Vogel, offensive tackle, Northwestern. And the New Jersey Generals took Tython Render, defensive end, Tennessee State. Okay, now, let me see if I got everybody. I believe I did. Yes, I did. I got everybody. Yep, we're there. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. All right, we're good to go then. I got pretty much everything covered I wanted to cover today here on Maulers Talk. Don't forget they play this coming Sunday, 8 p.m. They're going to be on Fox Sports 1, and you can watch it, right after you're done getting your belly filled with ham and potatoes and whatever you're going to eat for Easter. Don't forget about Easter Sunday this week. Let's head to the okay, here, the Maulers, they play Michigan. Their schedule goes like this. They're supposed to be playing Michigan, New Jersey, Philly, Michigan, New Jersey, Philly, and they're going to just repeat themselves. And I guess they're going to do the same with Tampa Bay as well for that also. All right, the comment section's open. We have about 5 minutes left in the show. Maulers Talk, we're here every Wednesday, 4 p.m., a half-hour show. Later on, Wrestle Chat with me at 7 p.m., half-hour show. We're going to talk professional wrestling. Lots to talk about in WWE, AEW, Impact, MLW, NWA. All right, so we have plenty to talk about there as well. And maybe a little bit of New Japan, and we'll see what goes on with that. So that's coming up. Also, please do not forget tomorrow night, my sports, Black and Gold Sports podcast with myself and Mark Mancini. We start at 8 o'clock. 347-205-9631. No, excuse me, is the number to call for that show tomorrow night. You can call on the phone, listen to it, and also participate in it. Also, don't forget about Friday, the way I see it. Now, I have special something for you, for everybody next week. Next week on the way I see it on Friday, I have a very special guest coming on, and you'll find out as we go. Check my Facebook page and or YouTube here. I will tell you who. I have a very special guest coming on talking about this stuff at the Allegheny County Jail, and it's going to be great because we're going to find out what's going on here exactly next Friday. Not this Friday, next Friday. All right. We have that going on. So don't forget about that as well. Sunday nights, every Sunday night, 9 o'clock, right here on Facebook and YouTube is Sports Corner, half-hour edition. Then at 9:35, we have The Way I See It with me, Ralph Williams, as well. We do different things on Friday, and we do different things on Sunday, and also don't forget on a rotating basis on PCTV channel 21, we have The Way I See It. My guest that I did this past month was I interviewed James White. Now he has a company called Blam Wrestling. He's working with some of the independents around here to talk about putting a movie or comedy series together on one of the networks or streaming networks. So good for him. I'm happy he's doing that as well. And don't forget about Sports Corner with myself and Smoking Jim Frazier every Saturday, 5 p.m. Don't forget about the Sports Smorgasbord on Saturday, myself at 5. 6 o'clock, Steel City Sports World with Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree, and Smoking Jim Frazier. And then at 7, the boys are back with the Boxing Authorities. All right. Also, don't forget, that's on PCTV, Channel 21 Comcast, 47 Verizon Cable, and don't forget about our other platforms, Facebook, also on Roku, Fire Stick, and Apple TV as well. You can catch PCTV and catch my Sports Corner show. This past month, I had to move my show back 2 days. Smoking Jim couldn't make it. I had Claudia Rosano as my special guest. So just to let you know about that as well. But that's coming up May 5th will be my live call-in show along with Smoking Jim Frazier. Now, the Monday, here we go. Monday and Tuesday. Now, I want you to put this on your calendar. Monday, April 25th, 6 p.m., PCTV Channel 21 Comcast, 47 Verizon. Your phone calls, live call-in show, NFL Draft show. All right, I'm putting together a lineup. I will let you know when and who will be on the show. As of right now, it's myself and Smoking Jim. I'm waiting to hear back from everybody else on the show. We're trying to get about 5 people on so we can talk about the NFL draft, Steelers' needs, and the whole draft itself. What mock drafts are out there? Who's telling what? Who might take what? We're going to go from there on that. Next is Tuesday, the 26th, right here, YouTube and Facebook, Sports Corner, 1 hour show, NFL Draft Talk. I'm going to put a lineup together, and we're going to talk the NFL Draft, what the Steelers might do, what the rest of the teams might do in the first round, what needs we have, and I might get Scott and Morgan back on to talk about what the Florida teams are looking at: Miami, Jacksonville, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, hey, by the way, I wanted to ask this question: why did Bruce Arians stop buying corn in Tampa Bay? You don't want to know why? Because it was a Buccaneer. All right, everybody. It's been a pleasure as always. Don't forget later on this evening, 7 p.m., right here on YouTube and Facebook, Wrestle Chat with me, Ralph Williams. Yeah, everybody have a great day. Thank you for watching and be safe.
Make more time. Make more time.